Welcome to the Macros for Life podcast, where we talk all things macros, business, and marriage. We're your hosts, Eve and Randall Guzman. Visit our website at www.gtransformationacademy.com, where you can download our free How to Track Macros guide. This guide has helped over 15,000 people start their macro tracking journey.
Hey, you guys, welcome back to the Macros for Life podcast. We have a very special guest this week. Her name is Juan. She's one of my friends that I met online, who also was a member of our macro mentorship program and has been changing women's lives like crazy on Instagram. How are you today?
Good. Thanks for having me, Eve. Such a pleasure and honor, actually.
I know, I'm like, this is like a full circle moment. I'm very excited to have you here, especially because since in the time that I've known you, like your message, your voice, and your content has grown so much. Like, I know you went through transitions in your personal business of having like an in-person location and then moving mostly and solely to online coaching. So I've seen you go through a lot in the last couple of years, and it's all been good.
Yeah, it's been a whirlwind and a blessing, actually, because I know that not everyone has this opportunity to do so. So, Instagram has been very generous with me. That, my audience has been so loyal. I've been blessed for sure, especially doing this later in life when people think it's too late. So, if you put your mind to it, and tell yourself, you can do anything you put your mind to, anything is possible.
Definitely. It's never too late for anything.
Right.
So if no one on here, which I'm sure half of you guys or more knows who Juan is, if you're new, can you let people know who you are and what you do?
Okay. Well, my name is Juan Dolegowski. And, I was always into fitness since I was probably in my teens, like high school. But back then, if you're familiar with Jane Fonda and step aerobics and all of that, that's what I was mostly into. And, I kind of did that throughout my 20s, 30s, always chasing fat loss. And then I became a pharmacist, and I was always into fitness. I was always interested in that. And that's when I eventually started getting into coaching. And then I had an opportunity to purchase a business. So I left pharmacy to purchase this business. It was called DexaFit. And that's where I did DEXA scans, resting metabolic rate tests, VO2 max cardio tests, and grew my coaching business alongside. And, my coaching business had grown so much that I could not devote the time and energy that I wanted to make it grow even more. So I had to make a decision. I felt like I had to go all in. So I sold that business and then I went into online coaching full time. So that's basically where I'm at. I didn't really get into lifting weights. I mean, I was always into lifting weights, but not properly lifting weights until I was 44. I was doing a lot of the circuit training, beach body, all those things where you're not really have the opportunity to progressive overload. And that was the main thing that was missing out of my training program is, knowing how to, the kind of exercises to do, being able to rest properly in between exercises, having rest days in between training sessions, and pushing myself while training, not just sticking with the 10, 12 pound dumbbells. So I didn't learn how to properly lift until I was 44. So it's been a game changer. I ditched the cardio because I was just a major cardio bunny and, did a lot of the, like I said, videos and Insanity and like all those beach body things. And not that that's bad. I don't want to put that out there. I don't want to bash it because there's a time and place for those types of videos, especially with me when I had a young baby. I didn't have a gym membership. So it served its purpose during its time. But understanding that I had specific physique goals, it wasn't aligned with that. So I had to change that. So you just have to make sure that whatever it is that you're doing is aligned with the goal that you have. So like I said, I don't want to bash those group classes or anything like that. For a lot of people, it's a great, way to stay active. And that's definitely more important than doing nothing at all.
Yep, absolutely. I feel like there's a lot of our story that is similar, but I think a lot of our friends and peers that are coaches, we've all went through the same things. So Juan and I, you guys, are 10 years apart. And we'll get into like the things that she's learned after the age of 30 and 40, and like this amazing woman that she has come to be in the fitness and nutrition space. But I was the same. I thought, because I lost a lot of weight, like I knew how to work out. I didn't know how to lift until 10 years ago. And that's like so not that far along, like back.
Yeah.
And I was 31 when I learned, did a career change like you. And when I first started working out, they were like $10 tapes. They were like, or videos. They were VHS.
Yes.
And then they became DVD.
Yes.
So we are a little older. We're not old, but we had VHS workout tapes. I did like Leslie Sandstone's Walk Away the Pounds. I tried to do Insanity. You're Better Than Me. I couldn't. It was just very hard.
It was hard.
And then I did a lot of the circuit stuff, and same thing, babies, young kid, and then it was affordable and I could do it in 30 minutes in whatever you wanted to wear.
Right. Exactly.
So yeah, very similar. So I definitely, like you said, you paused and said, like, no hate on that, but there are a lot of women that are needing to learn how to live properly to get the look that they're after and that they see like their favorite, fitness influencers and coaches have. But it takes a lot to go, okay, this is what I know, but it may not be working. There's probably a better way. And it usually is harder. Like the way that I know we lift now is definitely harder, but it's totally worth it.
Absolutely. Yeah. I just cannot imagine any other way at this point. But, it's just, we all evolve. We're always a work in progress. So, it's just fun to look back to see how far we've come along. And just our job at this point is to continue educating other women on how to do it properly if they have a certain goal. Okay? So, yeah.
Yeah, absolutely. So when did you know that it was a desire of yours to help other people and start coaching?
Okay, this is kind of two-part. Actually, I wanted to go into fitness, all of that when I was a freshman in college. So it started back then, but I wanted to be a good daughter. I wanted to please my parents. Nothing on them. It's just this is what I grew up in, our culture. You had to be a doctor or a lawyer or something medical in order to be considered, worthy. And so I went into the medical field. So I became actually an occupational therapist because I tried to do pre-med and I just realized I wasn't cut out for it. I didn't like it. So I'm like, okay, what else can I do that's kind of, hospital related or, medical related? So I was an occupational therapist for a long time. But I was always interested in fitness, but as far as like helping other women, it probably came from my own desire to get a coach. So I got a coach when I was 44. So from that experience, I was like, wow, she really changed the trajectory of my life. I know it sounds dramatic, but she really changed the way I viewed nutrition, training, cardio, fear of carbs, like everything. And I thought, wow, I want to have that kind of impact in other women, so that's kind of where it started. And so shortly after I coached with her is when I kind of, grew my coaching business.
And I can definitely say on behalf of Juan, her parents are proud and she trains them.
Yeah, they are. Actually, they've always been extremely supportive of all of my career changes and decisions. Even when I decided to leave pharmacy, all they said was, "Are you sure?" And I said, "Yeah, I'm sure." And they said, "Okay." And that's it. They didn't give me a hard time about it. They didn't try to make me feel bad. They didn't say, "You're making a big mistake. You're going to regret it." Like none of that. They were extremely supportive. So I'm actually very fortunate that they've always been so supportive of me.
That's cool. Definitely. So when it comes to working out, how would you kind of sum up the style of working out or training or strength training that you're doing now versus the Insanity videos?
Well, now it is considered a hypertrophy style lifting program. So the goal is to build muscle. So I train 4 days a week, 2 upper body, 2 lower body days, and I keep track of my lifts. So I'll look back to the previous week and see, what did I do? How many reps did I do? What weight did I do? Okay, let's see if I can do more this time. you're not always going to be able to do more. There's sometimes like some weeks will go by, you'll literally be at the same reps and same weight. But during that time, you can focus on, okay, I'm going to really work on my form, really perfect form. So there's different ways to progressive overload. So that is vastly different from back in the day when it was all about like, can I sweat? Like, how sweaty can I get? If I was sweaty, then that was a good workout. And, you know, how high can I get my heart rate? I wanted my heart to be like pounding. And like, you know, I had to be sore for days. And it was more cardio based, definitely more cardio based, more strength, more how fast can you do it? And definitely more compact, like, you know, how much can I get done in 20, 30 minutes? So definitely not an opportunity to really get stronger with your lifts. It's definitely more fast paced, more circus style.
How would you relate the number of days you worked out back then versus now?
Oh my gosh, every day. Back then, it was like no days off. Like,
yeah,
I had
team no days off.
Yeah, no days off. And no, when you're in that mind frame, you take some pride in that, but there's really nothing to be proud about, honestly. When you learn to train smarter, you understand the importance of rest days away from the gym. And that is so important. That's such an important part of making the best progress. So making that shift is hard, but it's an important one, because then once you learn how to train properly, you will learn to appreciate those rest days even more, because you're like, dang, I train hard. You know, your body feels it. Like, I'm looking forward to a rest day when that day comes. I'm like, whew, I can, you know, I'll focus on walking that day, just doing my errands, but I'm not worried about, oh, you know, I'm not in the gym. You know, I don't feel lazy. I actually feel more productive.
I think we spend a lot of time, especially when we're coaching women 40 plus, we're telling them to rest more and eat more. And then back in the day, it was the opposite: eat less and work out every single day.
Yes. And look where it's gotten us. Like, you have to look at is it really getting you where you want to be? You know, so you have to understand, like, okay, my way is not working. It's not working. This eating less, doing more is not producing the life and the body that am wanting for myself. So you have to make those changes, no matter how hard and uncomfortable it is and how against the grain it is. You have to take those steps to make those changes.
How would you describe how your body looked 15 years ago, like composition wise, to now, with more cardio, lots of days, and now heavy lifting 4 days a week?
It's so different. Like, I mean, my body's gone through a lot of changes, but the one thing that kind of sticks in my mind is that I was skinny fat. So I was like, I may have been small, but I was like mushy. I didn't have any muscle tone at all. But now, like, I have you know, more muscle, you know, I look more firm. It's just definitely a different body composition. So it's the kind of look that you want to have, that tight, sculpted, whatever look that you're looking for. That muscle will give you. That cardio, doing only cardio will not give you.
And I don't think women trust that, so they hear it 10,000 times and then they have to try it. No one will fully trust it till they do it.
Yes. And then, you know, they have to get out of their mind that they think that lifting weights is going to make them bulky. It's not. It's your nutrition. It's the fat that's currently covering your body that makes you feel like you're bulky. But you have to like lose that fat. If you have extra fat, that's not going to make you bulky. Yeah, I kind of had that thought process too. Oh, you know, I would do like leg extensions, and you know, probably all the blood that got pumped into my quads. I'm like, oh my gosh, my legs are bulky. I don't want to lift heavy. But it's so like not true. I wish there's one thing I could have told my younger self is just focus on lifting weights and not dieting. Like, that was if I had done that, oh my God, like, I can't imagine what my body composition would be now. You know, I spent decades like dieting and trying to starve myself, and there's no opportunity to build muscle that way. So I'm trying to play catch up. And during a time when it is harder, I think it's harder because you have just other things going on with your body, family, work. Just, you have a lot more to juggle than you did in your 20s. Okay. It's not impossible. You just have to tell people, you just have to be willing to do things differently, just differently than what you're used to doing.
I mean, you're dropping like all the truth bombs, because I felt the same way. I was so resistant to my husband. He was like, let me train you. Let me show you how to lift. He's like, the 10-pound and 8-pound dumbbells aren't getting it. no more air squats. Again, no
Yes.
hate on that. But I
Yeah.
feel like you now, like I am 41 and I feel like I'm still playing catch up because
Yeah.
you and I both know that after 35, every year we're losing a little bit of muscle, year by year by year. And so we lose the toned and the defined look, but also losing muscle contributes to our metabolic rate going down because it's not our metabolism till we get 60, 65. It's the fact that we have no muscle. So
Right.
I am in my 40s and me and all my coach friends my age, we are like grinding to get muscle. We're playing catch up.
Yes.
And that's okay.
It is. It is. And you can't, okay, so it's easy to look at your circumstances and look at someone else's circumstances and think, oh, well, they're younger and they have it easier or whatever. It's hard no matter what. So you just have to focus on what you currently have to do, what you have to do right now to get better. And so what if someone else, is younger and they have more muscle and, they're like farther ahead of the game, you have to just keep your eyes in your own lane. So yeah.
I know you wrote this great post about, I think it was something like what my 50-year-old self would have said to my 16-year-old self. What would be 3 or 4 things you would have told yourself back then?
Well, one would be you're fine just the way you are. Like you're beautiful, you're unique. You are not meant to be like anyone else. You're fine just the way you are. So when I was younger, I was so insecure. I was the only Asian in our community. So I just felt like I stood out. I didn't think I was pretty. I wasn't like the typical Caucasian, blonde hair, blue eyed. So I would have told myself, you're fine just the way you are. And focus on being strong. Focus on being strong. Because when you focus on being strong, you're going to make all the choices that will put you in that position. So eating well, lifting weights, not trying to do all this cardio, not trying to diet all the time, not trying to be smaller. I spent, so many years just trying to be smaller. And I don't know if I listed this in that post, but you don't have to drink. You don't have to drink alcohol to feel so. I'm not. I think people understand my position on alcohol. There's a time and place for it. I think women, as we age, don't understand the impact that it has on our bodies and our metabolism and just how we feel. But yeah.
Definitely. I really like how you said if there was anything also that you could have told yourself at one time was to lift weights. And one of my favorite posts of yours, it was something like, and I might mess it up, it was something like, if you want to be strong, lift weights. You want to lose weight, lift weights. You want to have fat loss, lift weights. You want to tone up, lift weights. I mean, I believe like even in my coaching pillars, that is like one of the solutions to so many things.
Yes.
Is lifting weights.
It is. I mean, it goes beyond aesthetics. So I think it was something like, and I don't even remember it either, but it's something like, even if fat loss is your only goal, lift weights. Even if you don't care about having muscle, you lift weights. Like there's so many benefits to lifting weights. They have absolutely nothing to do with what you look like. And it should be, it should be the foundation of our health as we age. We both know that is so important because as we age, we lose muscle. When you lose muscle, you lose function, you lose independence, and you won't be able to do those simple things that we take for granted right now. And we don't want to be a burden to our kids because we can't go to the bathroom ourselves. So we have to think about those things as well.
Yeah, definitely. I'm thinking about my son, and I'm like, ooh, do I? He's still 16, but I'm laughing like, ooh, do I really want him responsible for me?
Yeah.
Better pick up the weights.
Exactly.
Better pick up the weights. Yeah.
Exactly.
So on the flip side of like, gaining muscle for like overall health, no matter what you look like. On the flip side of that, you and I both have been competitors, and we have definitely got to the point where we were really shredded. And we've had followers that loved when we were in those phases because they were like, oh, I want to be shredded like you. What does it take? What do I have to do? But you and I also know, as women competitors that were in, what do they call our bracket when we were more mature? Masters.
Yeah.
Look, it's
Yeah.
been 5 years. I think you competed almost the same years, 2018, 19-ish.
Yeah,
Yeah,
I
yeah.
did. Yeah.
So let's talk about let's really be honest about the cost of being shredded. A lot of people see a look, whether it's like shredded arms and delts and then abs especially, but what are some of the costs of being shredded that people don't know until they get there?
Yeah. All right. So if you've been in a cut, you can understand that it affects your mood, your energy, your sleep, maybe, just what you're able to do, your cognition and all those things. So multiply that like 1,000 times. Like it's just getting shredded is not the same as just getting lifestyle lean. They're just so different. They're worlds apart. So it is like amplified just the massive food focus is insane. Like I would be thinking about food all the time. The minute I woke up, of course, nothing that you ate was satisfying because you're just so starving. Moody, you're cranky, you have no strength in the gym, no libido, your sleep is crappy, you lose your menstrual cycle, everything tanks, your relationships, you have no social life, just everything takes a hit. And I don't think people understand like how severe it is unless you've actually been there. And there might be a few outliers, few competitors where it doesn't really affect them as deeply, but they are definitely outliers. Most people, when you get that shredded, it just breaks you down. Like it's like the leaner you get, the more shredded you get, the worse you feel. And the only way out of it is just you have to gain body fat again, and you have to severe body dysmorphia. Because I swear, the leaner I got, the more I thought, I'm more fat. Like it's just weird. Like your mind plays. This is horrible. So when you get that lean, the process of getting healthier again is a mind game, because all you can think is like, I'm getting fat. When actuality you're not. You're just getting gaining the body fat that's needed to be healthy again. So that process is for me, it was extremely difficult. Just getting out of that, going through that process and seeing my body get the healthy body fat that was needed. But in my mind, I'm thinking, oh my God, I'm getting fat. And this, I look terrible. So it's just the body is just horrible. So I don't know if I missed anything.
Oh no, like you nailed it. Like I spent days and days in tears for months and months because I was crying because I weighed 130 pounds. And to me, I was fat.
Yeah.
It was just like
crazy, right?
I hated it. And the more you resist it,
yeah,
the longer your health will be tanked. When you need to get to maintenance, you've got to put some fat back on. And all of the research studies show that, like, until your body gains some or a good chunk of that fat back, everything is typically downregulated.
Yeah. It takes so long. I mean, it took me probably a year before I felt like my hunger hormones were normal again. But I didn't feel like I was craving all these insane things and then eating them and not feeling satisfied. It took a long time for it to be like, I knew when to eat and when I was full. Because until then, for a while, it's just like nothing is satisfying. You're just constantly hungry, ravenous.
Yeah, definitely. Yeah. And I love the term that you use, like lifestyle lean. That's definitely a different place. It's more manageable, like you getting to a healthy body fat that isn't just like psychologically healthy, but also the things that you were talking about, like that's tying in like your sex hormones, your adrenal hormones, your thyroid hormones. I remember my hair was like thin and brittle. Like that was one of the other signs. My skin, my face was sunken, but it's been just like the body dysmorphia, but like are things ticking inside like they should be? And I think so many women, when they're trying to kind of get to like a leaner, lifestyle, longer lasting type of look, they're so fixated on the scale and they're driving after weight loss when really fat loss is the thing that they're wanting.
Yes. Yeah. That's something that we have to continue educating women on, that, weight loss is not the same as fat loss, and seeing the scale to go down, like what good is that if it's just, water and muscle? Like, what does it matter, So that's a constant battle that we have to constantly fight, helping women kind of overcome this mental game that they have with the scale.
Yeah, definitely. I think it kind of goes back to what you were saying earlier of like, you think you're bulky, you think you're overweight, but you've got fat on top of muscle.
Yeah.
But if you haven't built muscle before you lose weight, when you get smaller, you're going to look the same. We need to build muscle, peel back the fat in a deficit. And a lot of us need to learn how to lift efficiently and then have progressive overload for hypertrophy, muscle growth, so that when we lose weight, we look like we want. Because what I notice, if let's say a woman is 150 pounds and her goal is 135, when she gets there, if she hasn't been lifting or lifting before the deficit for not a couple months, you guys, like years, when they get to 135, they're like, I'm not there. And they'll keep pushing and pushing and pushing. And they don't need to lose another 5 or 7. You need to put on the muscle.
Yeah, absolutely right, Eve. Like that is one of the biggest messages I keep telling people is like, maybe you do have some fat to lose, maybe, but more than anything, you need muscle on your frame. So if you go into fat loss and you're like, oh, I don't really look that different, I kind of look the same, it's because you need more muscle. That's why. Like no amount of fat loss is going to produce the look you want without a base of muscle. So this is why we are always preaching you must lift weights. That needs to be the cornerstone of what you do, no matter what your goals are. But especially if you want to look different after fat loss, you want to have that look. We all know what look these women want. Well, that's muscle that's giving the look. It's not like getting, losing all this weight. It's not that. So constantly have to preach that.
Yeah, I'm always asking women when they apply to work with us, like, why this weight, why this size, like describe what that looks like. Like, how do you feel when you're there? And so I'll hear like these lofty goals and I'll look at their photos and I'll look at their BMI and I'm like, man, they look pretty great. Like you don't really have much work. And they're like, I want to lose 20 pounds. And I'm like, well, if you have muscle, you can lose just 10 and you'll probably look like you lost 20.
Absolutely.
And then it's kind of that, well, can I lose fat and build muscle at the same time? Yeah, but it's hard. It's really hard. Easy if you're a beginner, but the longer you've been lifting, the harder it gets. And so women do have a hard time picking one goal at a time.
They do. They always want that magical combo of losing fat and building muscle at the same time. But we both know that unless you're new to lifting or have a lot of weight to lose, that's really hard to happen. So focusing on building muscle is going to produce the look and the goal that you want. But it is tough. And also, when they have this goal weight, a lot of times is this number that they had when they were, younger or before they had kids or when the bodies were totally different. Like a body with more muscle, you spend time lifting weights, you're probably never going to get down to that weight without looking like emaciated, So sometimes, if a woman does give me like a number that they want to, reach, I just kind of store it in the back of my mind. I don't really think about it because I'm like, you cannot predict that you're going to look and feel your best at that number. You think you will because maybe 20 years ago you were that number and you looked a certain way, but our body composition is going to change, especially if we've had children and things like that. So it's best to just focus on, okay, what can I achieve and work on now realistically? I usually think goal weights are kind of garbage anyway. So
I think you hit the word you just hit realistically made me think of a really good question. A lot of the times the goals that we come up with aren't realistic because we're comparing so much to other people. Do you get a lot of women asking like, how can other women eat this much and look like that?
Oh yeah. I made a post on that. How does she eat so much and look that way? Because I got that question so many times. And so basically it does come down to, they can eat a lot and look that way because number one, they have a lot of muscle and they spent their life not chasing fat loss, right? And then, they focus on being strong and they don't care about how much they weigh. Like there are certain characteristics that these women have that give them have them the ability to look a certain way, be able to eat so much. So it's just those things, not chasing fat loss, having a lot of muscle, focusing on being strong, lifting weights, and not caring about what you weigh, because they know that that is so irrelevant to looking a certain way. It is so irrelevant. I would rather, and this is a sad thing, I think when you ask women, would you rather weigh 10 pounds and have your dream body, weigh 10 pounds more than you are now and have your dream body, or weigh 10 pounds less? Like, I think sadly, I think a lot of women would just want to weigh less, even if they don't look any better, because they're still so fixated on that number, not realizing like a body with more muscle is going to weigh more and look leaner. Like, they don't understand the concept that it actually can look leaner while you weigh more because you have more muscle on you.
Yeah, and there's still women that think that muscle weighs more than fat. I'm like, they're not.
I don't know. I don't know how where that thought came. I'm not sure, but hopefully people are understanding that, 1 pound of muscle weighs the same as 1 pound of fat. It's just muscle is more dense, so it takes up less space.
Yeah.
So I think
if anybody knows, because you get DEXA scans.
Yes.
I'm like, you're the expert on this, but there are also women sometimes that apply to work with us, and they'll say, I don't care what the scale says. I just want to feel confident and I want to look good, all these things. But sometimes when we get into the heart of coaching, they are still focused on the scale weight. And I had this discussion with one of our mutual friends, Anne, and she said she gets the same thing. Women will say, I don't care the scale weight. I just want to look good, feel good. We can work on a body recomp or whatever. She's like, okay, I'm going to test that theory. So with her clients, she'll start them off at maintenance to test it and say, okay, if that's how you feel, let's kind of test this. And if you can be at maintenance for X amount of time, then we'll go into a fat loss phase. And then sometimes she feels like when that maintenance gets put to the test, they back out. And then it becomes, I want to lose weight. I want to lose weight. I want to lose weight, even though they're nourishing their bodies more, they're feeling better, their lifts are better. They'll still come back with her and I and probably you. And they're like, when am I going to lose weight? When can we cut?
Yep. And it's back in, now that I'm a more experienced coach, because I didn't do this when I was newer. But now, when a client comes to me, even if they have a fat loss goal, I do not put them in fat loss. Like, you have to be in maintenance. You have to be in maintenance with me because you need to show me that you have the habits and the consistency to make you successful in fat loss. And obviously, you've chased fat loss your entire life, and it's not gotten you where you want to be. So let's focus on, fueling your body properly, sleeping well, being consistent with water, getting your steps, training consistently, training with intensity, like all those things. Like, just doing those things alone will make you feel better and can probably produce body composition changes. So I've had many clients like that where I started them in maintenance and their body composition has changed just from doing all the right things consistently. So yeah, but there's women who are like, oh, I don't care how much I weigh, I just want to look and feel my best. But then, like, when it comes down to it, it's not necessarily the case. So it's tough. It's tough when you're always used to chasing fat loss.
Yep, I agree. So you are someone that is thriving in their 50s. If somebody asked you what's the secret to aging well, what would be some things you would say?
First and foremost, lift weights. Lifting weights is the key to aging well. That is number one, okay? But aside from that, sleeping, getting enough sleep, like prioritizing your sleep, okay? Honoring your rest days, walking daily, getting outside in nature, relying less on caffeine and alcohol.
Oh my God.
And then it's just the mindset things, right? Just focusing on your own journey, being able to, delay immediate gratification, meaning doing what's best for you now. I mean, doing what's best so that you're able to reach that goal of yours. But as far as like habits and those like lifestyle, like I would say those would be the top things, like prioritizing sleep, lifting weights, walking daily, drinking lots of water, and then, whole foods, eating whole foods, getting enough protein and fiber, so important. Eating well-balanced meals, all those things. I mean, it really does come down to just the basics. Really, there's nothing really fancy or magical in all of this, which I just would probably just like encourage you guys to know that there's no hack to any of this. Like no hack to aging well. You just have to put in the work, just nail the basics day in and day out.
It's usually all the stuff that nobody wants to hear.
Yeah, because they think there's like some, magic pill or some supplement that you can take or something that, you can do to like bypass. Like no one skips the hard work. Like no one does. Like you don't get a free pass to the front line. So you just have to just, do all those things day in and day out, just be consistent, not necessarily perfect, right? Not about perfection. It's about being consistent and just keeping the momentum because, life is going to happen. You're going to have illnesses, surgeries, unexpected things come up, trips and vacations. You need to be able to navigate those times because that is all part of life. It's not like you have to stop things all of a sudden just because things are going on. You can still have some daily non-negotiables in place to keep things moving forward. So you're not having to start all over again from day one.
Yeah, absolutely. With strength training, if someone was coming to you that was like newer into lifting weight, strength training, however people want to, whatever word resonates with them. If someone said, how do I know I'm lifting heavy enough? How would you describe that to them?
Yes. So heavy is relative to that person. So I try to give them a scale. It's hard. I know it's when you're newer, it's harder to figure out, am I lifting heavy enough? But I tell them the last few reps should be extremely hard. So as you're doing them, your reps will probably slow down as you get to that point where it's like, okay, I'm probably close to the end of the set. So be heavy enough where those last few reps are extremely, extremely hard, but you can still do them with good form. Your form isn't like breaking completely, but it still should be extremely hard. So 25 pounds for you might be light, but it might be heavy for someone else. So it doesn't matter what someone is lifting. It's relative to you. But you have to be honest about your effort and what you're putting into that.
Ooh, you said another key word. What would you say about effort versus expectations when someone comes to you and says, I'm going to go ahead and say it, our friend Shannon, the gym nurse, I want to look like Shannon. Juan, can you help me look like Shannon? What would you say about effort and expectations?
Well, yeah, the amount of effort you put into something has to match up to your expectations, right? So you got to look at the things that she's doing, right, consistently. She's eating well. She's not dieting. She's lifting heavy and consistently in the gym. She's going for her daily walks. Like she's doing all those things. Think about the person who you admire, look up to. What are they doing? Are you willing to do those same things? Because some people are not. Like it's very interesting to see, with clients, how different clients look at, walks, water, sleep, lifting, gym time. Like it's interesting that they have different priorities. So you can clearly see the ones who are putting in the consistent effort, they will have the outcome that they're looking for. But the ones who are constantly missing gym sessions, barely gets 4,000 steps a day, can't even hit their macros, can't even get 50 grams of protein a day, like all those things. So your effort has to match your expectations for sure.
Yeah.
And she's a common one that people say, how come, I want to look like her, or how come she can eat all this and look like that? And so, yeah, it's fun. Shan, we love you.
Yeah, we do. Yeah. People would, even in person, because like our kids went to the same middle school before I moved to Florida. So we live not too far away. And people would DM me and they're like, I saw that you did a gym selfie today because we went to the same gym with Shannon. I love her and I want to look like her so much. And I'm like, you got to do the work. You're going to look like your version of fit and healthy, but like it's definitely an investment. Like you're depositing in the bank. Like how someone looks that you admire, that their whole body, their physique is like a savings account and they're like making deposits all the time. And if you're someone that's always spending frivolously, and meaning you're living your life, you're drinking alcohol, you're not getting steps, you're always in a deficit, like you're not saving up to get this dream look and health that you're wanting. And a lot of people get excited to sign up, but when reality hits and it's day one, it's like, oh, do I have to do the work? Yes.
Yes.
That's the hard part.
Yeah. And what people don't understand that Shan is kind of a unique gem in the space is that she didn't have the dieting history that a lot of women have
Mhm.
heading into their 40s. Like she didn't diet that much. So she had all those years of being able to build muscle that a lot of us women lost when we were chasing fat loss. So, just understand that everyone has a different starting point. So you just got to do the best you can. Like, I just know, like, realistically, I'll never, ever look like her. Never. Just, I don't have the bone structure. I don't have the muscle. But I can just focus on what can I personally do? How can I be the best me with what
Mhm.
I've been given and with what I'm willing to do, right? Because you have to accept and be open to the fact that there's certain things that you need to be willing to do to achieve a certain look, right? Maybe you're not willing to have that lifestyle that's required to get the look that you want, right? There's
Mhm.
certain things that you might have to give up. So you have to really be able to like manage your expectations on what you can achieve with what you're willing to do.
Yeah, exactly. Exactly. And I think one of those big things that a lot of women have to be willing to do is to reverse diet to maintenance.
Yes.
And it's a
That's,
hard pill to swallow.
oh yeah. I lost a few clients because they just could not,
Me
they
too.
just do it. And you know what's crazy? It's like for us, for them to, everyone's different. Everyone's reverse diet is going to be different. But there's some women where they just literally gain maybe 1 or 2 pounds and they're eating 500 more calories, but they just cannot wrap their heads around the fact that they weigh 2 more pounds, even
Yes.
though they're eating all this. And I'm like, it's just crazy. It's just crazy. And you just can't when you're not there, when you're not ready to make that change, it's really, you can't force someone to. But we know that it just takes a lot of mindset work to get there. But yeah, some people, and if you're chronically under eating, you might have to gain 10 pounds to get to a healthy place. You have to
Hmm.
understand that your body needs to get to a healthy place. And for some people, it does mean that they have to gain that much, not necessarily fat, that get gain 10 pounds to be in a healthy place because they are so malnourished and so under eating so much. So, everyone's reverse diet is different, but yeah, the eating more part is just, and to tell women that they're capable of eating 2,000 calories, like they're just mind blown. Like they just cannot conceive when we
Hmm.
know that that's pretty common. That's normal for a lot of active women, not everyone. Like as we get older, this is probably not as high, but that's a very true reality. Like if you're, used to eating only 1,300 calories, and you tell them like you could probably eat 2,000 calories, they're just like freaking out, like no way, like can I eat that much? But yeah, it just goes to show you like just what we've been brought up with, like decades of brainwashing and just all these poor habits. Just trying to undo all of that just takes so much time.
Yeah, I feel like women have so much trauma around body image, weight, dieting, everything. I think it's
Yeah,
slowly getting better. Like the
I
younger
agree.
generation, like I'm thankful to know like that my daughter, if she needs to go into a deficit, wants to, whatever, like she has the education to do it right. The culture was a
Yeah,
bit different. But it is normal for a woman to go through 15 years of work getting past the scale fluctuating 2 pounds.
yeah,
It
it does.
should fluctuate. It should
Yes,
definitely, like we're mostly water. It should
yeah,
fluctuate. We
yeah,
are burning calories, we're sweating, we're moving, food is coming in. I mean, even things that are supplements, topical creams, are you taking a steroid? Like so many
yeah,
things fluctuate our weight. My weight fluctuates 1 to 4 pounds throughout the week, throughout the month, all month. As
yeah,
long as I'm tracking my average, and that's what a lot of women should be doing, you should be looking at the trends, the averages over time. And there is a lot of value in I gained 2 pounds, but I can eat 500 extra calories every single day. And I really want women to get there.
yeah. And 2 pounds, people like have this idea that 2 pounds, like, oh my gosh, everyone on the street can notice like they gain 2 pounds and the clothes are tight. No, this is your mind playing games on you. Like no one can tell that you gained 2 pounds because it's not 2 pounds of fat. Like
Mm-hmm.
it's just like water, food content, whatever, that's normal. Like if you're human, you should expect your scale weight to fluctuate.
Yeah.
Uh, so teaching women, this is why I like to have women weigh themselves every day so they can visually see, oh, my scale went up because, oh, this is why I went up. Like, oh, I trained hard the day before, or I got poor sleep or whatever. So helping them understand that fluctuations are normal and that it should be expected and it's okay.
All right, last question I have for you. This one I like a lot. How long do transformations typically take?
Oh my God. Well, it depends on what you mean by transformation. Are you talking about like actual physical? Like, I would say years.
Yeah.
I would say years. I think it's a lifetime because you really, the goal is to always just improve and get better a little bit over time. I really don't think that there should be a time frame. I think it's unrealistic to tell people it's going to happen within a certain time. But if you really want to be realistic, it's going to give yourself years to do it. And really best have no timeline, honestly. Because I think that's when you have that mindset, you're not going to do stupid, silly things trying to get there. You're going to do the right things, and no matter how long it takes. And when you allow yourself that time, you're going to do all the right things. So I always say the longer way is the shorter way because you're doing it the right way. So yeah, I don't know if that was a right answer, but
no, I agree. I think it's way longer than anybody else guesses, but there are so many magazines, books, TV shows, people on social media that are like, you can do this in 60 days.
Yeah,
it's like cool. 1 to 2% of the population that gets, like, you shouldn't be losing 30 pounds in 60 days. Depending on, your body weight, that's relative too. Right. But, let's say you're not extremely obese, that's like very rare. And I know there's a lot of people that have programs and challenges that like re-show those same people that are like their top transformations. They're 1%, they're super lean and shredded in like a 6-week program. And I try to let people know, like, we're going to work on the first goal in 6 months and then the next and then the next. And like a great transformation probably takes 2 to 3 years for like the first part of it. Yeah. It takes so much time.
Yeah. And I want people to understand that it's like, when we say years, it doesn't mean that nothing is happening like in that first year. You might notice some changes, right? But ultimately, like the big changes, like really significant, it's going to take a long time. And, just putting that, trying to compare yourself to these challenges is such a disservice. And plus, I like to see what their after looks like. Like, I want to see them a year from now. Like, do they look the same? Like, chances are probably not, honestly. It's really hard to maintain that shredded look all year round and forever and ever. Because a lot of these people, when you look at them, you just know that when you look at certain women, when they get a certain level of being shredded, like, it's just, it's affecting, all their biofeedback, probably the menstrual cycle. It's not healthy to maintain that level of leanness. Mm-hmm. So maybe that one day or for like whatever photo shoot, but then it's better to just probably put on some weight. So yeah, I don't like those challenges. I really dislike them. It's not realistic for most people.
Yeah. And then they usually come to us after to get their metabolism up where they
fixed. Yeah.
We're the fix-it coaches, but that's okay.
Yeah.
It's okay. Sometimes you just don't know what you know until you know it. And there's, like you said, it's never too late for anything.
Yep.
Yep, absolutely. Well, this has been a great talk. I think I'm going to get a lot of DMs about this podcast. There's a lot of truth bombs. There's like so many things that we'll be able to quote off of this. So I'm really glad that you had time to sit and talk to me today. This is exciting.
I had so much fun, Eve. Thank you so much for having me. It's just like talking to you like a good friend, and it's been fun. So
I know this is like all the stuff we all talk about online all the time anyway. But where can people find you? I know some people are going to want to know how to connect with you. So your Instagram handle, your website. And if you have anything else coming up in the future, go ahead and plug that so we can put that into the show notes too.
Sure. So I am the most active on Instagram. So I'm at Wond, W-O-N-D for my last name, Wellness. So Wond Wellness. And my website is the same thing, wonddwellness.com. And I am working on putting together a training program for beginners, like just going off of what I did for my parents, just the exact same routine split. So I've had some people ask for it. So I'm working on that, and hopefully we'll announce that in the future.
Okay, cool. Do you have a wait list, or can anybody email you or send you their email to maybe get on an interest list for when that opens?
Not right now, but I will probably start one. Create a Google form in my link tree. That way, people can get on a wait list, and then I'll make the announcement when it comes out.
Okay, cool. So you guys make sure you are following, so when that comes out, you guys will know that it's there. Well, thank you so much for pouring into us today and sharing all these hard truths that you guys can find on her Instagram plastered. So if you're really wanting someone to give you a kick in the butt and some food for thought about what you're doing with nutrition and fitness, please go look at her feed. Please look.
Thank you.
Thank you so much, you guys.
Thanks for listening to our podcast today. Make sure you like, share, and tag us on Instagram. Also, subscribe to our channel so you don't miss future episodes. In the meantime, be healthy and get wealthy.